Hello everyone, welcome in e-learning session of SST. Now we will start the new chapter of geography, that is agriculture. Agriculture is the main activity of the India because most of the person of the India's population involved in agriculture. Nowadays, many of the famous personalities, many of the educated persons involved in the agriculture because it is a production field of the country. Agriculture comes under the activity of primary. Do you know what is the meaning of the primary activity? Now, before that, you should know activities are having the three parts: primary, secondary, and territory. In the primary field, the all field of the production has to come, like the dairy product, dairy farm, agriculture, and extra, in which we have to produce something. And the secondary, in the secondary field, we have to manufacture and the package. Means whatever production we are here, we have to transfer in the secondary, and then all things, articles, whatever articles we are getting, we manufacture, we modified it, and then we packaged it and giving to territory sector. It means in it the people's export or import. Now the farming, agriculture are doing by various ways in our country. Especially in our country, we are doing the intensive farming. So now let's discuss the types of farming. So many types of the farming. Now one by one we will discuss about it. Number one, primitive and the subsistence farming. It is very old farming, old method of the farming. Especially this type of the farming is practiced by the tribal communities. Do you know what is the meaning of the tribal communities? Tribal communities, it is a group of the people, those who are lived in the hilly area, northeast region, forested region, means like Adivasi, those who lived separated from our society, our educated society. And now there the question arises, how these peoples were doing the farming. There is a problem because they lived in forest, there is not a plain area. So they use the different method to do the farming. First of all, these people burn the vegetation, means the plant and the trees of the forest, and then get a plain area. And after getting the plain area, whatever ashes they had after burning the trees, they mixed into the soil and used that ashes as a fertilizer to increase the fertility of the land and increase the productivity. That's why we are known as slash and agriculture, slash and burn agriculture. But there is a cause that they use that land only for 2 to 3 years. But after 2 to 3 years, they left that land and shifted their life from the another place, because that land which they used already to grow the crops, they lost their productivity and the fertility. Now on this land they cannot grow the more crops according to their requirement. Especially they grown the millet, ragi, potato, wheat, rice, etc. And that's why we are known as the shifting cultivation, because when they left the one place and shift another place, then their life shifted to the other place. With their life, their agriculture and farming is also shifted. That's why it is known as the shifting cultivation also. Into the different part of the world and the country, this cultivation is known as the different name. Just as like I told you, it is known as the primitive subsistence farming, it is known as the shifting cultivation, it is known as the jhum cultivation, it is known as the slash and burn agriculture. Now we will know what is called into the different part of the world. These are the name of countries, these are the name of that farming. In Mexico, that is not milpa. In Venezuela, that is of conuca. In Brazil, that is Ruca. Central Africa, it is known as the Masol. In Indonesia, that is known as Landang. In Vietnam, it is known as the Ray. Now, in India, these are the state name and these are the name of that farming by which name this farming is famous in that area. In MP, it is known as the Beaver and the Dhaiya. Andhra Pradesh, it is known as the Pondu and Panda. It is in Odisha, it is known as the Pama, Davi and Koma and Bringa. It is depend on the district because in the Odisha how many districts are there. In these districts, it is known as a different name. In Western Ghat, known as the Kumari. Southern Eastern Rajasthan, known as the Valtaire and Voltaire. There is no difference, but it's the difference of the V and W because the both letters is having the different pronunciation. Himalayan belt, it is known as the Kheel. Jharkhand, known as the Korwa. Northeastern region, known as the Jhuming. Manipur, known as the Pamlu. In Bastar, known as the Deepa. Now, the next type of the farming is called the intensive farming. Are you aware about the intensive farming? Especially, intensive farming is practiced in the region where the population of density is very high and the land of farming is very limited, like India. Because in India, day by day we are doing the deforestation. We are not having a land for the agriculture, but we are having the large population, and with this population our requirement of the food is also increased. That's why we are not having any other option to do the intensive subsistence farming. In that farming, we are use the high yielded variety of the seed, especially skilled labor and fertilizers, chemicals, yani ki more input we have to invest to grow the more and more crops within a year on a same land, like crop rotation. If this farming is much needed because due to the large population we are having the very limited land, because day by day the construction is going on, deforestation is going on. That's why the land is became shrinked for the farming. Even though, as we all know, the peoples are showing their interest to do the farming, but the land is limited. In this system, the farming which high input of the labor means skilled labor, and means that those who know well how to do the farming, how to do plantation, how to do grown the crop, and when they have to do the irrigation. Capital means money and tools made to obtain the HYV, high yielded variety seeds. Especially this system is more popular in the region where the land holding are small in size, like Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia and India. This question can be come in board also. In which part of the country and which part of the nation this intensive farming has practiced? That's simple. You have to write the answer. That is Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, India and Japan. Next part of type of the farming we will discuss into the next video.